In Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, chapters 6 and 7 delve deeper into the harsh realities of Lowood School and the contrasting philosophies of its two central characters, Jane and Helen Burns. These chapters not only highlight the severe conditions at the institution, but also explore themes of endurance, hypocrisy, and moral integrity, providing significant character development that shapes Jane's outlook on life. As Jane awakens on her second morning at Lowood, she encounters frozen water in the pitchers, symbolizing the cold and unforgiving environment she must endure. Unlike her initial passive observation, Jane begins to actively participate in the school's daily routines, such as sewing. This shift marks her transition from a mere observer to an engaged member of the Lowood community. However, this newfound participation does not shield her from the relentless mistreatment by Miss Scatcherd, who picks on Helen Burns over trivial matters like the way she holds her head or brushes her chin. Despite these minor provocations, Helen remains one of the brightest students, consistently providing correct answers to challenging questions. This contrast underscores Helen's exceptional character and resilience. In these chapters, Helen's philosophy of life becomes a focal point of Jane's development. Helen advocates for a doctrine of endurance, encouraging Jane to emulate Christ by loving her enemies and accepting suffering with grace. This stands in stark contrast to Jane's instinctual desire to fight against injustice. Helen's belief in predestination and her commitment to not becoming a burden to her family reflect her deep-rooted Calvinist faith, which emphasizes acceptance and spiritual strength. Through their conversations, Helen praises Jane's attentiveness and virtues while critiquing her own tendency to daydream about her past at Deepden in Northumberland. This exchange not only deepens the bond between the two girls, but also introduces Jane to a more contemplative and forgiving approach to life's hardships. As the first quarter at Lowood concludes, Jane reflects on the severe conditions she has endured: extreme cold, inadequate food, and long hours of memorizing the church catechism, alongside enduring lengthy sermons. The presence of Mr. Brocklehurst, the austere financial manager of Lowood, exacerbates these challenges. Jane's anxiety upon his arrival is rooted in her fear of being labeled deceitful, a concern stemming from her Aunt Reed's negative remarks about her. During his visit, Jane accidentally drops her slate, an incident that leads Brocklehurst to publicly shame her by branding her a liar and declaring her the dunce of Lowood. This blatant act of humiliation not only reveals Brocklehurst's tyrannical nature, but also highlights the school's oppressive atmosphere. Miss Temple's reassurance and Helen's silent support offer Jane a semblance of comfort amidst the cruelty, further illustrating the stark differences between Helen's compassionate endurance and Brocklehurst's harsh authoritarianism. The hypocrisy of Mr. Brocklehurst becomes increasingly evident in these chapters. He enforces strict austerity among the girls, advocating for a Spartan lifestyle that he claims is rooted in Christian doctrine. However, his own behavior contradicts his preached values. When his wife and daughters make a lavish entrance into the classroom, adorned in luxurious fabrics and ornate hairstyles, Brocklehurst's duplicity is laid bare. This contrast between his public persona and private indulgence exposes the superficiality and corruption within the institution he oversees. Miss Temple's reaction to Brocklehurst's hypocrisy, her stoic demeanor and refusal to confront him directly, further highlights the limitations of her character. While Miss Temple embodies compassion and intelligence, her inability to challenge injustice head-on leaves Jane searching for a more robust model of moral courage. Through these experiences, Jane learns valuable lessons about strength and dignity. Helen's unwavering support and serene acceptance of punishment teach Jane that true heroism lies in maintaining one's integrity and kindness, even in the face of adversity. Helen's angelic smile and the strange light in her eyes provide Jane with a source of inner strength, transforming her feelings of shame into resilience. This spiritual fortitude contrasts sharply with Jane's earlier impulses toward retaliation and vengeance, guiding her towards a more measured and principled response to suffering. In summary, chapters 6 and 7 of Jane Eyre are pivotal in illustrating the oppressive environment of Lowood School and the moral dichotomies that define its characters. Through Jane's interactions with Helen Burns and the hypocritical Mr. Brocklehurst, Bronte explores themes of endurance, hypocrisy, and the quest for moral integrity. These chapters not only advance Jane's personal growth, but also critique the rigid and often hypocritical structures of authority, setting the stage for Jane's ongoing journey towards self-discovery and empowerment. That wraps up another Bookly summary. Don't forget to engage with our community in the comments. I love hearing your perspectives on these literary classics.